So thank you everyone for coming out. That's really appreciated. My name is Calvin Winter, and I teach a course here at UBC, Math 605A, which is Topics in Applied Mathematics, Market Microstructure, and Trading. And it's my pleasure to introduce Sunny Wong, who I've known for a couple of years, who is a trader here in Vancouver and trades specifically one stock mostly. So he's really very, very focused and working very, very hard, getting up very early every morning, doing the trading, getting set up, putting the trades in, so from 6:30 till 1. And I said, well, why don't you come and give a talk to the class at UBC? And he said, it has to be after 1 o'clock. I don't want to lose the opportunity cost of not being able to do that trading for an hour is quite high when you're trading big volumes as Sunny is. So just for the people in my class, I just want to introduce Sunny from the perspective of a couple of issues. And one of the things is that the trading style that he uses, from my viewpoint, is a little bit mean reversion. So it tends to work if there's mean reversion in the numbers, sort of Bernstein-Uhlenbeck sort of process, if you wanted to do it in stochastic calculus. But the other key points, and probably much more important points, are is the cognitive bias side, and not cognitive bias from the perspective of the investor, but cognitive bias from the perspective of the trader. So if you're trading this gold stock and you see, oh, the price of gold is suddenly going up, and you say, oh, great, that's good, let's get in, let's buy. It doesn't matter what the price is. You know, you get excited, you get built up into the action, and that's one of the things that having his experience and his time on the market, he can trade against, right? He can do the opposite of what the herd does. But the other, probably most important thing of all, is this loss aversion. So if you're a trader and you can't take losses, you don't want to take losses, it's really frustrating when you're trading a perfectly good strategy that loses money and loses money and loses money and then occasionally wins money, right? And so the problem, the psychological problem, is the ability to withstand that business of taking those losses, right? And so basically, if you look at it from the perspective of a fight, of a boxing match, right? So a boxer can be a perfectly good boxer, but if he takes one blow to the chin and has a glass jaw and gets knocked out and stays out and doesn't get back into the game, doesn't get back into the ring, then he's out, right? And most traders and most academics are actually kind of in that category. So most people, when they don't succeed day trading, it's not because they have necessarily a bad strategy, but it's rather because they have this glass jaw, and it really hurts, and they get out and they leave the game before they really have learned enough and have enough experience to win the game. And Sunny is no exception. He also has a glass jaw. He doesn't really like to lose money. But he has a very clever accounting system that allows him to win almost every day. That's your turn.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyways, you said a lot of things that is right up my alley, especially the part by working hard. I don't think I've worked as hard on my stocks nearly as hard as I worked on this particular seminar. I was up till 3 o'clock this morning, still working on it. And I'm not prepared, so I'm going to be stuttering and all over the place. And never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that I would ever step foot in a classroom, especially a UBC classroom, and especially a classroom that is Dr. Calvin Winter's classroom. So I just want to thank Dr. Winters for this opportunity to give me my dream come true to step in the classroom of UBC. So now I have my assistants here, my granddaughter Grace. She asked special permission to come and attend this lecture because she asked her teacher, what is UBC? And her teacher says, oh, that's a place that you must go. And she says, can I go? And so here she is. Grace, just say hi.
Hi.
Okay, she's going to help me operate my laptop. I hope that we get going. Okay, next one, Grace, please. So, everybody knows what a bull is, and 70 to 80% of all traders and investors are bull traders. In my mind, I say it old school, conventional, directional, upmarket traders. Just think of that. Is that true? Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. The bear. Everybody knows what that is. 20 to 30% of all traders are bear traders with no, in this category, there's no investors because nobody wants to lose money. But if you're a trader, when the stock price goes down, that is an opportunity to make money. So you must be both. If you're only one, you're not going to make it. And again, if you're only a bear, meaning all you do is short and don't like going long, you're still the old school, the conventional directional, you're the conventional method, and again, it's a directional down market. Next one, please, guys. So here we come, something called the boar. Anybody heard of the boar? There's a picture of it. Anybody research the internet and see what boar is? B-U-A-R? Chuckles? What is it? Anybody?
It's a wild pig.
It's a wild pig. Excellent. Well, actually what it is, it's a cross between a bear and a bull. So we got here a bear's body and the bull's head. Next one, please. So, 30.300.30/2010, from the Great White North emerges the boar. It's a German word. It's a city in some place in Germany. Anyways, I've created something called the boar trading, or active neutral trading is born. Boar active neutral trading combines stocks, options, and FX, which means I take all three markets, put them all in one. I'm not trying to say that I'm only a stock guy, or I'm only a new options guy, or I'm only a currency guy. I don't care what the market is. I have no feelings for it. I just want to make money. So what I do is I take all these three markets, squish them into one, and take little bits and pieces of each one. That's all. Consistently for the last 3 years. One instrument alone and directional means one step up, or one day you're going to have profits, and 2 steps down. So 3 years before I accidentally bumped into this system, that was me. I'm actually, by losing a lot of money, I can actually say that I'm an experienced day trader, directional scalper. I lost to the tune of $250,000. Now that I don't wish on anybody. So I've created something, by accident again, something called boar trading, which is the reverse. It happens to be 3 steps up to 1 step down. And even that 1 step down, like the glass jaw theory, it's not a glass jaw, I've got a rubber jaw. You get whacked, get down, but you're not out, because now I've got other things that I can do to it, and they'll bounce right back. So in the Chinese saying, it's called something like salted fish comes back to life. So, how like, how can a salted fish, he's already dead, how can it come back to life? Same thing, glass jaw, how can it be a rubber jaw? Well anyways, what I've got going was, again, that's the actual beginning, and that was to actually, it was like just popped up through my Excel spreadsheet. I didn't even know it at the time, but I'm saying to myself, it can't be. This defies mathematics. It doesn't make sense. You try to use a calculator on it, it doesn't make sense. You try to put 1 plus 1, 1 minus 1, it doesn't make sense. I've got a lot of fellow traders that are accountants, and they're professionals at 1 plus 1, 1 minus 1. They said that I've got a mirage account. But from what the 30.300.30 means is from 30K to 300K within 30 months. So after 30 months, I said to the accountant, well, how come it's gone tenfold? If you say it's a mirage. If it's a mirage, it should disappear tomorrow. But anyways, after 3 years, he finally agreed with me, but he still don't understand it. He refuses. So anyways, let's go on to the next one, please, guys. Next one, please. Next one, I think I already told that, so okay, we just keep on going. Just keep on going. Okay, now scroll this bar down, please, guys. Now, right at the bottom there, where I say that I use the term freely, board trading or active neutral trading, which basically is a person that is a jack of all markets. Just like in the construction trade, you're a jack of all trades and master of none. So I don't consider myself as being, per se, seeking that holy grail as every trader does in the stock market world, or in the options world, or in the FX world. I just take my little pieces, I grab them and I put them all together, and I actively work it. And how I work it is possibly, that's the accident I got into, and it's proven to be okay. Next one, please. Okay, so what is the board trading? Okay, we have 5 major profit areas. Okay, now we all know what long is. That means you buy low, sell high. Everybody practice that, and that's where 80% of the people or traders lose their money, is that one section right there, the long. And the short stock, very few traders actually trade short. And when you listen to the news, they hardly even talk about short trading. They always talk about buy low, sell high, but you don't hear too many short trade talks. So that's 2 ways. So if you happen to be holding position long, holding position short, and then you combine options with it, the part of the options that I like is what they call the insurance calls on the long side, the insurance puts, which is on the short side. So now we've got 4 positions. Just remember now, we're non-directional. We don't care which way the market goes. Goes up, goes down, or sideways. I don't care. I just want to make money. I don't want to phone my friends, hey, I guessed right, it's going up, or I guessed right, it's going down. I don't care. I just put my orders in simultaneous all at the same time, long and short, and then your insurance calls and your insurance puts. That's 4 positions that you've put on roughly at the same time, within a few minutes of each other. And then you have one more, which is the FX. So why the FX comes into this is actually something that I call the backyard forex. I'm going to give you guys a little free tip right here, which if you go into my meetup.com group, you'll see that one of the persons, his name is Adam Wong. As a matter of fact, I can't even remember his face because it was like 3 years ago I gave out this tip. And he just joined my meetup and said that from 3 years ago till now, he's already made $10,000 just on that one free tip. Sorry. So what this means is that most people will have one set of money. Let's say you have 10,000, 50,000, whatever amount of money you have, and then you get a margin account made on it, and it's leveraged, and then you'll either buy a stock or short the stock or do some options or whatever, and then that's the finish of it. Then you sit there and wait till it goes in your direction. And if it doesn't go in your direction, then obviously you're going to be holding that longer. Because what happens to most people, they start off as a trader, meaning quick profits, quick profits, quick profits. It turns against them. What happens? To justify their thinking or justify why they're holding on to a loser, they'll say, oh, I'm not a trader today. I think I'll be an investor. So now the person's become a trader that's supposed to be quickly in and out. It's become an investor. The person hangs on to it till the item that they're hanging on to, that'll be options to expiry, and then lose a lot of money. Stocks goes down, lose a lot of money, and that's the end of the game. But however, in my neutral board trading, active or also known as active neutral trading, this third one, which is I call the backyard forex. Now I'm going to give you guys all this free tip again. Every time I hold a trader's barbecue, I give it out. But there's a lot of new faces here, so I think somebody will benefit from this. So what the backyard forex means is it's not the regular FX market where you have a buy and a sell on a combination pair of American dollar to Canadian dollar or Australian dollar or whatever. It's not a pair per se. All we're doing here is amplifying your profits. So by amplifying profits, going back to the one set of money buys one set of stocks or one set of options or one set of FX. But if you think what the backyard means, that if you're sitting in your backyard, it's 100% safe. you feel safe. You don't feel that a dog's going to come in and bite you or a car's going to run over you. So same thing with the money situation. If you already have your money leveraged and it's invested into one securities or whatever, that's one set of money making one set of profits. Now, let's say we have it in stock. Then we will sell an insurance policy on it through a call or a put. What that is anybody into options will know that that's free money attached to the stock if you already own it. So why isn't people selling this insurance policy if you own the stock? So if you did sell this free insurance on the stock you own, so there comes your second profit. One set of money will get you one set of profits if and when your stock goes up in value and you sell it. Or if you shorted it, when it goes down and you buy it back, you make money. So then if it goes down, you sell the insurance put on it. So there again comes your two sets of profits. Again, the first set of money buys your stock or shorts the stock, and then if it goes in the right direction, you make a profit. At the same time, you do this insurance on both of them, and it creates another profit. Because as soon as you sell it, it's money in your account right away. So there goes two sets of profits. Isn't that nice? Isn't that, who likes shopping? Like, well, isn't it nice if you go out and buy one pair of jeans and then you get one free, or one dress and you get the other one free? But anyways, how about a third one for free? So the third one is this, is that I call it my backyard forex because it's money that I have. It's not leverage. And if it's not leveraged, it's at no danger whatsoever. You will not get a margin call if it goes the wrong way. And with the FX, when you get a margin call, it's a huge one, because normally you're working with big numbers. So anyways, the backyard forex, you just watch it. Let's say I love the American dollar because I'm always moving around. So I don't mind holding the American dollar. So if I've got, let's say, 100,000 Canadian dollars, and I've got my Canadian dollars invested in a Canadian stock, then when I see the time is right, like for the last week or last 2 weeks, the dollar has been diving. So I just phone the broker and say, transfer my 100K Canadian into whatever I can get US. So now what's happening is that my Canadian account holds no money, but it holds Canadian stock with the insurance options. My US account holds money, but no stock. They cross-reference these, and it's still okay. You don't get a margin call. And what happens is they will charge you interest on your Canadian side because you don't have no money in there. But they'll also give you interest on your US side because you have cash with no stocks. So it works out to zero, neutral again. So what you do now is wait for it to rebound a little bit. Whatever rebound you get, if $100 is what you want to make, you cash it back. Maybe it's 500, maybe it's 1,000, whatever you want to make. You wait till the US dollar rebounds a bit, and you cash it back. So basically what's happening is you're just flipping back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. And that's how this person, Adam Wong, made $10,000 in the last 3 years by doing that. And that's just the free part of it. So that's what I like to do, is amplify money. One set of money making 3 sets of profits. Okay, so now what do we have here? Active neutral trading, holding long and short stock. Okay, I just did that all. Okay, let's do that one. Thank you. Okay, active neutral trading. What am I? I'm a scalper, I'm an investor, a gambler, all in one. Some people don't like, a scalper is the same thing as a day trader. So when nowadays a day trading is a dirty word, because so many people have lost so much money in day trading and scalping that it's just like flushing your money down the toilet or burning it. So it's not a good thing to do. So an investor, everybody likes to be the investor. In their mind, that's the right way to do it. You're investing for the long term. But in my short lifetime, I've seen 2 market crashes. And I certainly don't want to wait. I've got 5 years to go before I'm 65, and I certainly will not rely on the next 5 years if it's going to make me money or not, and have to rely on that. I could see another crash. So therefore, that word comes in. And a gambler. Okay, most people don't like the word gambling because it's totally out of control. However, to be a good profit taker, I'm not going to say trader, a good profit taker, there is a certain amount of gamble. If you don't gamble, you don't go anywhere. But it's a calculated risk gamble. And that is the difference between going to a casino and applying the gambling theory to trading. As long as it's a calculated risk, then, in my mind, gambling is okay. Okay, what I am not is a technical or fundamental or news-driven trader. I used to listen to the news all the time, and I still remember this one. When Nortel was $125, it dropped to $60, half price. Wow! They were talking about it in the news every day, and I heard this one person, and I can't remember his name. It still rings in my head right now. Every time I think of it, it gives me a headache. He says, "Back up the truck!" So I did. Backed up the truck, loaded up a Nortel $60, and then before you know it, went to 30, then it went to 15, and then it went to 0. So I don't know who, I guess everybody made money on Nortel, right? You guys are lucky and you didn't lose. All right, so I'm not a news person. I totally trade with the TV off now. I don't even listen to that. I don't care about fundamental, and I don't care about technical. The reason for that is that in my way of trading, I pick one stock. Do the next one, please. Okay, so active neutral trader is a scalper, because what means is that I take my profits as I see it, and I hold my losses, so when I take my profits as fast as I can see it, that means that I'm a scalper. Now, holding as long as it takes is the investor part of me, and not knowing the outcome is the gambler part of me. So when markets move in 3 directions, up, down, and sideways, scroll bar. So if the markets go 3 directions, then basically we don't know what direction it's going, so basically there's where the gambling part comes in. Okay, you've got to have a little bit of gamble in you, so if you really don't care which way it goes, and then you take your profits as you get them, then you don't care if you're a gambler, because the outcome is you will make the money, or you will make a profit. Something? Okay, fishing. So I'm going to teach you how to fish, so that means you'll always make money every day. So the conventional way of trading, which is a directional trading, and they go into a huge big market like the New York market or the NASDAQ market, it's just like telling somebody, I'm going to teach you how to fish now. You just jump into the ocean with your bare hands and you try and catch a fish. That's what it is. You're jumping into a huge market. You're arm wrestling with the big boys down in New York on the NASDAQ. Do you think you got more money than them? I don't think so. So that's what that kind of a scenario means, is that most people, they all jump into the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ exchange. Nobody even thinks about our current TSX or Montreal exchange. It's so tiny, they say there's no activity. Well, if you can't make money in a slow market, in a non-activity market, how do you think you can make money in a fast-moving market that you can't even understand how fast it moves? So that's my theory. I trade only on the slow market. It gives me time to think, to put all my 4 positions in place. Because I'm not that smart of a guy. I only got grade 12 education, so I can't think very fast. So I like to stick with something slow, something that I can go long, something that goes short at the same time frame. Boom, boom. And then I have to put my insurance put, my insurance call on it. All 4 things at the same time. And if you're working in the New York Stock Exchange, it's like lightning. How do you expect to do it? It's going to be too hard for me, so I'd rather stick in a slower moving market. And that in comparison is, I will now take you to catch a fish in a stream. Okay? Don't you think it'd be easier to catch a fish in the stream than to catch a fish in the ocean? All right. So we could go to the stream and I say, here, use this fishing rod. So using a fishing rod is what I call directional. If you have to determine on which direction it's going to go, up or down, it's just like throwing in a fish line with one hook. Either the fish is going to bite or not. It's kind of hard again to catch that fish. Now, what if I told you that my method of stocks is compared to fishing is to use 2 nets? I'm going to give you a net on your left hand, and I'm going to give you a net on your right hand. Upstream, poof, throw in the net. Downstream, poof, you throw in the other net. So what do we have in between? Little goldfishes or maybe golden carps flowing back and forth. Boom, it catches one, take your profit. Goes back down, boom, it goes to the other side, take your profit. So there's your long and your short. So basically, when you have your 2 insurance options going on, your call and your put, that's like your security fence. So that means a fish won't jump over these fences. And all they're doing is just flowing back and forth, just like your stock. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down. Your long side, your short side, you just keep grabbing your profits. Now, what happens to the losers? So the losers, as Calvin says, is the glass jaw. But mine, I said, is not a glass jaw, it's a rubber jaw. You can punch me as many times as you want, it's just going to bounce back. I'm going to have so many losers, but it's going to bounce back. How does it bounce back? 2 ways, 3 ways. One is if that on the losing side, I have something called an SOS maneuver, which is quite complicated, so I'm not going to go into that right now, which is basically same thing as your stop loss, but a little bit more complicated than stop loss. The stop loss stops there and you lose it. So my stop loss continues on, and that's my SOS maneuver. It's a little bit more in depth, but I don't have enough time, so I'm trying to talk as fast as I can before my half hour is up. So anyways, so the other method of the rubber jaw bouncing back is your insurance options. Remember, you got your insurance options on the long side, insurance option on the short side. So whenever they work in reverse of each other, so there's your neutral again. Everything is neutral and everything is balanced. That's what I focus on. So what happens is that you're scalping your stock, you're scalping your insurance options, and as you scalp your insurance options, it shaves that little bit of, it adds that little bit of more profit, so whatever you're losing on your particular stock, let's say you bought the stock at $10 and now it's down to $9, you have $1 to shave off. But what if you could get 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents from these insurance options and you're just scalping those guys? So that's reducing your cost. And it's buying you time. And then what's going to happen is your stocks, if you're in the up position, it's going to and then one day it's going to boop, 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 and you don't have to go all the way to here because you've already did all these little work in between. And there you go. Your stock, a dead stock, becomes a live stock. Okay, compare that to the horse theory. I have this racehorse. It wins me a lot of Kentucky Derbies, but all of a sudden it got sick, so now it's in the barn. It's in the barn. I have to feed it all the time, and I have to shovel its whatever goes up the other end. So that's a lot of work. That's like your dead stock. It's sitting there, absolutely giving you a headache and gut ache or whatever because I'm losing money on it. So this horse is in my barn. All the kids come to my farm, so it pets the horse and charge them 25 cents. So you got 100 kids coming through every day. So that's the same idea. No, so gradually all this money is piling up, and all of a sudden the horse gets healthy, and back to the races it goes. Wins the race. All the little 25 cents that you've collected from all these hundreds and thousands of kids that come through is just pure profit. It bought you time. So that's how a dead stock can become a live stock again. And that's why I hold my losers and I take my winners. I go against the trend, I break all rules. So, in a nutshell, the secret to all this is balance. Balance, meaning shares. How many shares do you have going long? How many shares do you have going short? So if you can get your 2 shares like this, and let's crank it out like this is 50-50. Okay, that's textbook. But only university people can do textbook. Grade 12 people can't. So mine is always it's always off balance. As long as your balance going off is not any more than 90%, you're still okay. A 60-40, 70-30, you're still okay. Because what's going to happen is, of course, you take profit on one side, the other side goes like this, take profit goes like this, take profit goes like this, and you keep trying to get this thing back into balance by either buying more shares or adding more shares to the side that needs it, or liquidating more shares that don't need it. So the secret here is balance. And also on both sides of the fence, long and short. You must hold them together. Okay, when you let go of one, now 2 bad things about being a trader. You can't be cheap and you can't procrastinate. Because if you're cheap, what happens is everybody wants the market to come to them. By 1 cent, you could lose $500 if you're cheap. Or sometimes by 1 cent, you just don't get filled. If you don't get filled, that means you don't have no stock. And if you have no stock, that means you have no chance of making any money. This is a business that I'm doing and not trading. I'm not investing. I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody. I just want money. Every day I want money. Like today, I'm sorry, I got off track here. Okay, the secret is balance. And it's not in the direction, meaning I don't want to prove to anybody that I can pick a direction. As one of my first students, his name is David, the first thing he asked me was, Sonny, how good are you at picking direction? I said, I'm lousy. Every time I pick, I'm always wrong. And I earned his trust from that day on. He says, everybody that I've asked says, oh, great, I can pick them great. I'm always on. I'm 100%. Well, we all know what that means. So anyways, and it's also not the stock. A lot of traders will spend a lot of time with their charting and whatever else, trying to find that perfect winner, trying to find that stock that's going to be their next winner. Well, I don't care about that. I don't pick stock. I just have one stock that I play for the last 3 years, and that's Kinross Gold. Why do I pick Kinross Gold over anything else? Because it has something called a pre-indicator. If you've got a pre-indicator, that's almost like having a little bird there outside tweeting in your ear, time to do something, time to do something, time to sell, time to buy, whatever. The pre-indicator on any gold stock is the gold futures. Roughly at 12 o'clock at night when I have to go to the washroom, I'll mosey over to the computer, turn it on, and I can mostly tell at 12 o'clock what my stock is going to be like next morning. And every morning, when David asks me, I'll say I'm lousy, but now I'm going to say I'm a little bit better, and I can pick a direction. All I preach to my students is as long as you can predict for 5 minutes by looking at the pre-indicator. If the gold price goes up, within a few seconds, your gold stock will follow. 7 or 8 out of 10, it will work. It's not 100%, but as far as percentages are concerned, that's a pretty high percentage. If you can make 7 out of 10 profit, and then the 3 that you're holding on to as losers, but then you work it till it becomes profit again, so that's how you can get 9 out of 10 winners. Okay, and it's also not the market which I went through before. It's not that you have to go into a fast-moving New York Stock Exchange market to make it. And at all times, amplify your profits, meaning you maximize on your one set of money makes 2 sets of profits, or one set of money making 3 sets of profits. So basically, you're really maximizing it. Next one.